How is it going? I hope you are all doing amazing today. A very, very warm welcome to the channel, Habibi. Today we are starting from the absolute beginning. Before the tanks rolled and before the bombs fell, a dark shadow crawled over Europe. We are going back to the time when Adolf Hitler took total control of Germany. But hold on, because today we are unlocking the untold file. Trust me, you have never heard the secret side of this story told quite like this before. To understand Hitler's rise, we must look at Germany after World War I. The year was 1919. Germany was defeated, humiliated, and deeply broke. The Treaty of Versailles forced the country to pay massive debts, destroying the economy. By the late 1920s, catastrophic inflation hit. People literally needed wheelbarrows full of cash just to buy a single loaf of bread. Millions lost their jobs, their savings, and their hope. The streets were filled with anger. Germans felt betrayed, and they were desperate for a savior to make Germany strong again. Enter Adolf Hitler. In the 1920s, he was just a frustrated politician, but he discovered a terrifying talent. He was an incredibly powerful speaker. Hitler joined a small group that became the Nazi Party. He did not use normal political arguments. Instead, he targeted people's emotions. He walked into packed, smoky beer halls and shouted with intense passion. He gave the angry crowds exactly what they wanted: someone to blame. He blamed the politicians, he blamed neighboring countries, and he blamed minority groups. He promised jobs, bread, and national pride. Slowly, people started listening, but words soon turned into dangerous action. In November 1923, Hitler believed he was powerful enough to overthrow the German government. He staged a violent armed coup in Munich, which became known as the Beer Hall Putsch. Armed Nazis marched through the streets, but the police opened fire. The coup failed completely. 16 Nazis were killed, the party was banned, and Hitler was captured and put on trial for high treason. He was sentenced to prison, but prison did not stop him. The authorities thought prison would stop him. While locked up in Landsberg prison, Hitler spent his time writing a dangerous book, Mein Kampf, or My Struggle. In this book, he outlined his dark vision for Germany's future, his hatred for minorities, and his plans for world expansion. He realized he could not take power by force. He had to win through votes. The path to power was no longer through the streets, but through the ballot box. This was the beginning of his true ascent. Hitler was released from Landsberg prison in less than a year, but the world he returned to had changed. Between 1925 and 1928, the German economy underwent a remarkable recovery, known as the Golden Era. With prosperity returning, the German people began to lose interest in radical politicians and their dire warnings. But Hitler used this quiet time strategically. He realized the path to power required a disciplined machine. He set out to rebuild the Nazi Party from the ground up, moving away from street brawls toward organization. During this period, he created the SS, an elite, fiercely loyal paramilitary wing designed for his personal protection. Simultaneously, he organized the Hitler Youth, ensuring the party's ideology would take root in the next generation. He built a massive, highly disciplined propaganda machine, led by figures like Joseph Goebbels. Every speech, every flyer, and every parade was meticulously planned to project an image of absolute strength. The party established schools to train public speakers, perfecting the art of emotional manipulation. The party's reach expanded across Germany, establishing local branches even in areas where they had no seats. Discipline became the hallmark of the movement. They were no longer a ragtag group, but a shadow government. Slowly, Hitler began to court wealthy industrialists, promising stability and an end to labor unrest. While the rest of the country enjoyed the peace, the Nazi machine was simply waiting for the perfect storm. They knew the economic recovery was fragile and that a single crisis could bring the masses back to them. By 1928, the organization was complete. The propaganda was ready. The soldiers were trained. History was about to provide the opening they needed. The stage was set for the collapse of the Republic. The rebuilding was over. The era of chaos was about to begin. In October 1929, that storm arrived. The U.S. stock market crashed, triggering the Great Depression. The global economy collapsed, and Germany was hit the hardest. American loans vanished, factories closed overnight, and 6 million Germans were suddenly unemployed. Hunger and desperation returned to the streets, bigger than ever before. Hitler didn't just speak. He hypnotized. He looked into the eyes of a broken nation and weaponized their despair. While rival politicians delivered cold, boring speeches, Hitler was a storm of raw fury. He orchestrated his rallies like dark, theatrical masterpieces, using dramatic lighting, roaring music, and calculated silence. He offered no complex economic plans. Instead, he pointed fingers at scapegoats and promised absolute glory. To a starving father and a desperate youth, this man didn't sound like a politician. He looked like a messiah, and their hunger was his ultimate path to power. By 1932, the Nazi Party became the largest party in the German parliament. Hitler was a master operator. He understood exactly how to exploit the chaos. On January 30th, 1933, the aging German president Paul von Hindenburg made a historic mistake. He appointed Adolf Hitler as chancellor, thinking he could control him. They could not. It was a fatal miscalculation that would change history forever. Just 1 month later, the German parliament building, the Reichstag, mysteriously burned down. Hitler used this crisis perfectly. He claimed it was a communist plot. He demanded emergency powers which eliminated personal freedom, free speech, and the free press. In a matter of weeks, democracy in Germany was completely dead. It was the end of an era. When President Hindenburg died in 1934, Hitler combined the offices of Chancellor and President. He declared himself the Führer, the absolute dictator of Germany. Every soldier in the army was forced to swear a personal oath of loyalty, not to the country, but to Hitler himself. The stage was now set for the march toward global catastrophe. And that, my friends, is how a democracy collapsed into a nightmare. In our next episode, we will see how Hitler rebuilt the German military and prepared for war. Thank you so much for watching today. Please give this video a thumbs up. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below and share it with a friend. Stay curious, stay awesome, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye for now.